I've always seen the A&R world and labels as, you're custodians of this art. You have these young, vibrant, excited musicians who are just brimming with excitement and activity and life, and you have to kind of take what they produce and sometimes just help mould it a little into something which is perhaps a little more palatable. Now, especially in the case of Funeral for a Friend, who were a heavy band with a lot of harsh vocals, and tell them that if you perhaps just compromise a little bit on this vocal here and replace it with a clean vocal, it would mean a longer career and a bigger career. And but you're somewhat a conduit of just taking this raw talent and helping it get to a wider audience. And you can never underplay that responsibility. And that's still something I take very, very seriously now when I work with my artists. Some of the artists have been through it for a few years or a few albums. They get to understand, but especially the new ones, I think we often misplace this sort of arrogance that young artists have, and I don't ever see arrogance. I see them being terrified. I see them not quite knowing how to react. And I've seen it happen, unfortunately. I've seen too many people say too many incorrect things to young artists, and they build this ego. And I still see a terrified young person not quite knowing how to deal with this level of compliments and level of fame. And it's a challenge to manage. And I always try and get to real roots of why they're a musician and why they want to be an artist. I'm a firm believer in also, especially in the alternative scene, these weren't the cool kids. These weren't the kids with lots of friends at school. These are the ones that were going home and writing in their bedroom and didn't have girlfriends. And sometimes within 18 months, they're the opposite of that.
Yeah.
And that
messes with their head massively.
I think it's a challenge which the music industry is only waking up to now, where we have suffered one too many tragedies, and I think I agree, and it is something which can really be a challenge. And so I've always taken that responsibility, and you don't always get it right because we're always just human, but I've always tried to very seriously make sure that I work with the artist on delivering a piece of work that they're happy with and is as close to their pure art as possible, but just trying to sometimes occasionally mould it to a wider audience. When you work for a major label, I think it's very challenging, if not impossible, to deliver something as sometimes the artist would exactly like it. But that being said, we've just done that recently with an artist. They delivered an album and it was perfect, but it was their 5th album, so I think that was more experience kind of coming.